Hey Eagles. Happy Dinosaur Week. Today we're going to be making a dinosaur egg print using some shaving cream and some foil. So some basic supplies you might have around the house. You need a sheet of foil for this. You do need some shaving cream. You're also going to want some either food coloring or some watercolor or liquid watercolors. Other things you'll want is just a pretty thick piece of paper, so maybe cardstock or like this is drawing or watercolor paper to print on, as well as some paper towels because obviously shaving cream gets a little messy, and then some kind of straight edge or cardboard that you can use to wipe off your print as you print today. Now, I'm using this is an old candy box is what I'm using for that for myself. Only other supply you need is just a Sharpie marker to draw with on your aluminum foil. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw the egg shape that I'm wanting to create on my foil. And to draw that, a very easy way to draw an egg shape is to start with a circle. So I'm going to start by just drawing the circle that's going to be about the size of the egg I want. Now, to create the egg shape, I'm going to put an arch on top of my circle. So I'm going to start on one side and just make an arch over the top. And that's really it, guys. And you can kind of play around with your egg shape a little bit if you want to maybe make the bottom also arched a little more. You can do that. We are printing on this, so this is really just a guide for where the shaving cream is going to go today. It is not going to matter if you go a little outside the lines, or as I did, if you make lines more than once. Okay, so once we get the shape we're going for, we're going to just apply a little bit of shaving cream. You don't need much. You just need to put enough in the middle that you can stir it around and kind of play with it. So I'm going to start with just my little bit of shaving cream. I'm going to add just a little more to some of these sides here. There we go. And then whatever colors you want to add are going to go in next. And you really just need a couple drops of each. Let's see, I've got a purple and a pink in here. So I think I'm going to make a fun little purple and pink dinosaur egg. So just add in a couple little dots where I want those to go. You don't need a whole lot. And there's my pink. And then we're going to add in some purple. A lot of people think of dinosaur eggs as being kind of like mottled, which just means they have little polka dots on them. So ours might look a little like that. They might turn out a little differently as well, though. So let's see what we end up with here. And you're going to need something to stir with. So all I'm going to do now is just play around with where I want that color to go. I kind of play with mixing, and I'm trying to kind of keep it in that egg shape that I created. However, if it goes outside of it a little bit, it really is okay, because we'll end up cutting out our final egg print that we create. So mine is going to be kind of a mottled, almost tie-dye effect for my dinosaur egg here. There we go. Okay, so your job really at this point is just to make sure you're getting those colors the way you want. Do you want them mixed really well? Do you want them to be kind of stirred so they're all mixed in together? If you would like, you can even come back and add a couple more drops on top, which I think I'm going to do just to create a little bit more of an effect here. I'm going to add a couple more splotches of the purple on top here just to create that kind of egg look the way I want. And you can kind of stir those around as well if you desire. Because what you make in this part of it is really going to decide what your print looks like. Now, as I mentioned, this is a food coloring thing. It can get pretty messy if it gets on your hands. So the key is to use something to stir with besides your fingers. Okay, now once I get that the way I want it to go, the next step is to take a piece of paper and I'm going to press it down onto my egg. So here we go. And it is going to make a mess. It's going to look a mess, but you will see when we get done, those colors are going to stay on the paper. So I pressed it down. Oh, and that made a disaster, did it not? Okay, so this is what the scraper is for. So the next thing I'm going to do is just scrape off that excess color from my shaving cream. This is why we use scrapers. This is why we use paper towels, guys. So now I get this really cool mottled design here. And as I mentioned before, no big deal if it goes outside the lines. As you can see, mine definitely used a little too much food coloring shaving cream, so it did go outside the lines a little bit. But I have a really cool color design happening as well. Okay, and the last step is simply to cut it out. So same thing, I would have the egg shape drawn that I want, and it's simply a matter of cutting out that egg shape. If you want to wait till it dries and draw your egg shape on the back, you're welcome to do that. This is also a great technique for really any printing or shape or pattern that you would like to create. There's my dinosaur egg, guys. Have fun.